excited that today is finally here. We have such a large group of students being inducted into this National Honor Society, and I'm so glad to see so many of our faculty here to support them and their family and friends, because this is a really exciting day and a big honor. So my name is Dr. Hatfield, and I'm the faculty advisor for Lambda Pi Eta, and I'm a communication studies professor here at University of Houston downtown. And I see that we have many of our fellow faculty here, so I just want to introduce and thank them. Professors Pogue and Mueller, thank you for being here. Dr. Rajai, Drs. Hong and Archipoli, and Professor Koenig, thank you for being here. So I appreciate it. So thank you. So I'd also like to introduce our officers for this induction ceremony. First of all, we have our president, Elizabeth Ruiz. Our Vice President, Ahmad Nahani. And our Secretary, Veronica Saldana. Thank you for helping me today as we get ready for our ceremony. So I'm going to turn it over now to our president, who will begin our ceremony. Thank you, Elizabeth.
Thank you, Dr. Hatfield. Welcome, students and faculty and family and friends. The name Lambda Pi Eta is represented by the Greek letters L, lambda, P for pi, and H for eta, symbolizing what Aristotle described in his book, Rhetoric, as the three modules of persuasion. Logos, meaning logic, pathos, relating to emotion, and ethos, defined as character, credibility, and ethics. The candle lighting ceremony will describe each of these letters. Lambda Pi Eta was initiated by the students of the Department of Communication at the University of Arkansas and was then endorsed by the faculty and founder, Dr. Stephen A. Smith, in 1985. The Speech Communication Association established Lambda Pi Eta as an affiliate organization and as the official National Communication Honor Society for undergraduates in 1994. In February 1996, Lambda Pi Eta was inducted in the Association of College Honor Societies. There are currently over 500 active chapters worldwide. I would now like to invite Dr. Wendy Lawrence to say a few words in commemoration of these new members of Lambda Pi Eta.
Good morning.
Good morning.
What an exciting day. So how many of you remember the story or heard the story of David and Goliath? It's about 3,000, we've been telling about 3,000 years now. So if you haven't heard it, you should. I'm going to tell it to you right now. But basically, you know, there was David and there was Goliath, and they met on a battlefield. And their battle was a tremendous battle because they were deciding the fate of the Philistines and the Israelites. And, you know, they used to do that because it saved bloodshed, right? Just these two men. And they send down Goliath the giant, and he's big and he's huge and he's dressed in armor and he has a sword and a javelin and a spear. Well, none of the Israelite soldiers wanted to send down their guy because he was really scary. So King Saul, he was in charge of the Israelites back then, he didn't know what to do, and finally this young shepherd boy comes and he says, "I'll do it, I'll take him on." He says, "No, you'll be annihilated." No, I've been defending my sheep from wolves for a while, and I think I can do it. And so he marches down, he throws five stones into his leather bag, comes down and takes out his sling and gets a rock right in between Goliath's eyes, and well, the rest is history. Cuts off his head, and the Israelites win, and the Philistines flee. Now, you know that book, Outliers, you might have heard of it, Malcolm Gladwell, everyone talks about it. Well, Malcolm Gladwell wrote another book called David and Goliath. And he says, you know, we have really been misunderstanding that story for a while, because in that story, David is the underdog, right? And we've come to understand David and Goliath. David is a symbol for the underdog. I mean, Goliath is a giant, David is a kid. Come on in, welcome, welcome. And Goliath is an experienced warrior, and David's just a shepherd. And Goliath he's all this modern weaponry. David, he just has a slingshot. Well, Gladwell says that's where we mess up. That's the first misunderstanding. We say, all David has is a sling. Because in ancient warfare, slingers were instrumental in war. And his slingshot was equivalent to a 45mm gun that we have these days. And, Goliath and both King Saul, they expected David to come down and engage in this face-to-face combat, and he knew his own strength. And he decided to use the slingshot, and that's why he won. Goliath actually was the sitting duck. He was weighed down with all this armor, and he was the one that was really going to be in trouble. So why do we keep calling David the underdog? Not only, Gladwell says, do we misunderstand David, but we also profoundly misunderstand Goliath. He says that, recently there's been a lot of medical journals talking about Goliath probably had the disease of giantism, which is an overproduction of human growth hormones. He was giant, and one of the side effects of this disease is it blurs your vision. And we know from the story Goliath had to be led to the battlefield because he couldn't see, and he thought David was holding 2 sticks, not one, because he had blurred vision. And so, really, what the Israelite soldiers thought was his greatest strength was actually his greatest weakness. So my name is Wendy Lawrence, and I'm a Communication Studies faculty member, and I also direct, and I found in 2007, the UHD Center for Public Deliberation. And we are dedicated to deliberating and dialoguing across difference. Wow, what an honor to be with all of the top students who have worked so hard here today. You are at the top of your class. You are the strongest among us. Congratulations to all of you. I started with this story because I think it's an important reminder that the qualities people will tell you are the weakest can often be some of your strongest for success. In my life journey, I've learned 3 lessons about this that I want to share with you. Advice is free. First, if you speak well, if you speak strong, you're strong, right? We want to be good speakers. I agree, but here's what I've learned that we're not often taught. If you listen, you're stronger. You all have found your voice. In fact, you probably gave the best speeches in public speaking, didn't you? But can you listen with respect? Can you give the respect that every human being deserves, regardless of what that person looks like or what they believe? Can you do this? I argue if you can do this, you're one of the few. In fact, recent Pew research suggests that 50% of Democrats and 50% of Republicans actually fear the opposing side. So not only can we not talk to them, do we not like them, we're not going to hang out with them, we're certainly not going to live next to them, we actually are afraid of each other. Lead by example and show more people what it feels like to be heard. You will go very far. Next lesson. In the book On Kindness by psychologist Adam Phillips and historian Barbara Taylor, they argue that we generally see independent people as strong and heroic, and charitable people as weak and lesser. Though this may be how we perceive kindness, choose to be kind. Being kind is different from acting nice. We women get tired of being told to act nicer. Kindness is a heartfelt commitment to the welfare of others. It comes from a place of love. In order to be kind, we have to notice things other than ourselves, and we have to do this by understanding different perspectives. As we learn different perspectives, our heart opens, we develop empathy, compassion, engagement, and as we grow more engaged, we feel and others feel less alone and more valued. As the Bluto lists of the impacts of kindness, kindness will make people love you. Finally, last lesson. Our world often frames failure as a weakness, but I encourage you to fail. The youngest female billionaire is the CEO of Spanx, named Sarah Blakely. She shares what I thought was a really important lesson that she had learned about failure along the way, and she learned it from her father. At dinner, he would ask her to tell him something she had tried to do and failed at. He would high-five her every time she failed at something and be very disappointed when she hadn't failed at something. I'm interested in this because I am raising a perfectionist, so we're working on failure. And these early lessons reframed failure for her. Failure was about not trying, not about the outcome. Blakely the CEO, she had major failures all through her 20s. She failed her law entrance exam. She wanted to be a lawyer, and she didn't get into law school. And her only opportunity she had was to sell fax machines door to door. And she did this job for many years, and she was told no a lot. Not a lot of people were buying fax machines back then. And she talks about how this job taught her about hard work and persistence and failure. So as you move forward, remember to trust your gut and follow your direction. After all, you all are meant to be great. Counter to what we are told, if you can listen to others, be kind, and try, even in the face of failing, you will define your own success. And I leave you with one of my favorite poems by Ralph Waldo Emerson. What is success? To laugh often and much, to win the respect of intelligent people, the affection of children, to earn the appreciation of honest critics, to endure the betrayal of false friends, to appreciate beauty, to find the best in others, to leave the world a bit better, whether by a healthy child, a garden patch, or a redeemed social condition. To know even one life has breathed easier because you have lived. This is to have succeeded. May all of you continue to succeed and lead as you have done up until this point. And when you do achieve your greatest success, may you remember the Center for Public Deliberation, which is a direct getting the kind of listening very greatly, and please donate heavily.
Thank you, Dr. Lawrence. Now, for the lighting of the candles. Vice President.
The first mode of persuasion is logos or logic. In all aspects of scholarship and its application to one's life, logic plays a major role in deliberations and problem solving. Pathos, or emotional appeal, the second symbol of our organization's title, encompasses a driving force that makes an organization vital and effective. The last mode of persuasion, we're going to wait for a second, Cam. The last mode of persuasion is ethos, or character, credibility, and ethics. Aristotle sees character credibility as a primary means of effecting change in society and in one's life. Thus, it is appropriate that ethos is a major symbol of Lambda Pi Eta.
Thank you. The candles make me so nervous. Thank you so much. So, the purposes of the Honor Society, according to our Constitution, are 1, to recognize, foster, and reward outstanding scholastic achievement. And that is why each of these students has been recognized today. To stimulate interest in the field of communication studies. To provide an opportunity to discuss and exchange ideas in the field of communication. To promote and encourage professional development among communication majors. To establish and maintain close relationships and mutual understanding between faculty and students. And finally, to explore options for future graduate education, which is something I do hope all of you will consider in your path of life. The membership in Lambda Pi Eta is composed of undergraduate students who have declared an interest in the field of communication either as a major or a minor and have achieved a high level of academic excellence. To be eligible for membership, students must have completed 60 semester hours in undergraduate credit courses. They must have a cumulative grade point average of 3.0 in all of their classes and completed an equivalent of 12 semester hours in courses specific to communication. Within those courses, they should have a GPA of 3.25 or higher. They should currently be enrolled as a full-time student at UHD in good standing with the university. Since we frequently see our members inducted and soon after graduate, we see our officers being inducted today as well. So to begin, I will first present our officers with their certificates and formally induct them into the Honor Society. First, our president, Elizabeth Rubin. The Gold Honor Cords are to be worn at graduation as a representation of their scholarship, and so they stand out amongst the regular robes to identify our leading students. So, thank you, congratulations. And finally, Veronica Sutherland. Our President, Elizabeth Reeves, will now proceed with welcoming our new members. So please come to the front of the room at this point if you're being inducted. So if you're a student that's being inducted, you'll come and just hang out over here for a second. That way we can just shuffle through and sit back down at the end. These can be certificates, so she'll hand out. So you just read over it.
I bet you did not get an alphabetical order, did you? No worries, because I have you in alphabetical order, so just come down, that's how you can. That was a test. Okay, so as I call your name, please come forward to receive your certificate of membership and pen. Additionally, because many students will be graduating, Dr. Hatfield will be presenting those students with their gold honor cords to represent their accomplishments at our upcoming graduation ceremony. Emily Acevedo. Alejandro Alvarez Soto.
Not here, I believe.
We have such a large group, it's possible that a few were not able to attend today.
That's okay. Okay, Vicky Bailey. Angelique Chapel. Jennifer Charles. Consuela Fontenot. Judith Garcia. William Glenn. Maria Gonzalez. inductees. As newly inducted members,
Is Louise here? No? Okay, just checking.
As newly inducted members of Lambda Pi Eta, do you accept the challenge to maintain the high academic and leadership standards set forth by the organization and to serve as examples for the achievement of excellence in the field of communication? And do you promise to work toward the achievement of the purposes and goals as set down by the national organization of Lambda Pi Eta? If so, please answer, I do. I do. To audience, I now present to you the newly inducted members of the Pi Mu of Lambda Pi Eta for the 2017-2018 year. Welcome. Will the faculty, administration, family, and friends please join the chapter officers in welcoming these new members? Thank you for attending our ceremony. I will now invite Dr. Hatfield back to close the ceremony.
Thank you so much, Elizabeth, and to the other officers. Great job. So I would like to ask that our newly inducted members come forward so we can take a group picture in this little porch now that we've all processed. I think next year I'll have to get a bigger room, which is very exciting progress. So, yeah, it's a wonderful thing. It's a great time. I really appreciate everyone taking the time on their Friday to come, especially the family members and the faculty members that are here to celebrate our students, because it is really a huge national honor. And I hope that you'll come and celebrate today somewhere after you come take our group picture. Have a great day. Thank you.